Smiley got asthma.
Outside?
Molly
Yeah,
outside?
he does.
Yeah.
He gonna say that it was over with.
He be in that paint just like hand up. That's it.
Yeah, like Dan too. Like Dan don't be playing about that shit because of what happened to him.
Yeah, for sure. Like, that's why we told him was like, bro, don't even force it. If you're feeling like any type of way.
You said y'all only played like 4 or 5 games.
It was 5, right?
Yeah, I think so.
It was like 2 games that weren't 5-on-5, and the last 3 were 5-on-5.
I was just like, I think I played like 3 or 4.
I was like, damn,
I
that's
played
a short run. That's a short run for y'all.
I didn't lead. I didn't get off the court.
I mean, it was kind of energy too. Like,
y'all niggas should have invited Key. He got bounds of energy over here. He was ready to come and hoop. He just said that. He said that's close and everything for him.
I was asleep in the car. You see me?
How long were you sitting out there?
I don't know, like 15 minutes.
Oh, okay. Got you. Oh. I got a new stand here.
I see.
I found this
I like
at the
those.
store. Like,
You did?
Yeah, it was really just like...
At the shop?
Yeah, as I was
Really?
cleaning everything out, it was...
Oh,
under the
I've been
stairs.
seeing that.
Yeah.
Like at some point when I've been in the store, I feel like I've been seeing that just laying around.
Yeah, it was under the stairs, and I was just like, "Oh, this is a podcast stand. I can
Yeah,
use this.
yeah.
I like this better than these, and I
for
feel like
sure.
it's better for the table too."
Looks like it's meant for podcasts.
It
That-
is.
yeah, that
Basically.
is.
That's
That's
like
what
the
it's
shit you
for.
see on radio shows, like Breakfast Club and stuff.
And then I took off the fucking whatchamacallit things to see how that goes.
Oh, the pop filters.
Yeah, I just want to see how it sounds.
This has always been on here though.
What that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all.
Oh yeah. Then this is really all you need.
yeah, it really is.
That's all that's on there. Okay, I think we good. Might have to adjust sound as we get going, but I'll just get it on started here. 2 minutes in, really early. What is going on, everybody? It is Mars here from the Too Many Ideas Podcast. How's everybody doing out there? Remember, what's the thing? Like, comment, and subscribe to the video. Sorry, it's been a long day. And, check us out on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, wherever you get your podcasts. We are there, and you can listen to us, see us, talk to us. All of our socials will be down at the bottom and everything. But yeah, glad to be back for another week. Week 14. The OG team is back after a long, long hiatus. Benji hasn't been here in forever. Luke hasn't been here in a while. And then, last week was our first week back after like a couple weeks being gone or whatever. So just still getting back in the swing of everything. How's everybody doing today? Y'all good?
Yeah.
I'm breathing, so that's cool.
Relaxed.
Relaxed?
I feel like I am.
Why are you relaxed?
I don't know, just had a good hooping session earlier, and my body's kind of like cooling down, I guess. It's a good feeling.
So what was you trying to talk about before we turn the mics and everything on?
I mean, I was just talking about like producers and having their seasons, but I think I was at the end of it already. But I was just saying that like every producer has their season, and versus like a rapper. I mean, rappers have seasons too, but they can, for the most part, they can be in the limelight a little bit longer for years. I feel like producers kind of have like their season.
Describe for me a producer season.
Mike Will, for instance, like remember when he was popping, like had like even fucking Miley Cyrus on his shit. He had like Ransom 2, I believe. He had like a season, like a strong season. Everybody wanted Mike Will be. You heard like at the time when radio was really popping, like Mike Will made it. Like you heard that tag a lot. It seems like now he kind of just like. And I don't know, it could vary, like, I guess your season. You can just decide to not be in the limelight no
I feel
more.
like it's either seasons or it's, like, pairings. When it's, like, because that's a big thing nowadays is producers with a certain rapper, and they're always with said rapper. Like, that kind of came out, in the 2010s and everything when you think about, like, Uzi and Molly Raw, and then, like, Cardi and Pierre, and then, like, Ray Sherman, Mike Will,
I was more so referring to just like the producer himself. Like by season, I mean like he's not just with a pair. He's like going with multiple. Like, cause I've heard Mike Will on like hella people, like different styles, even Beyonce type shit.
Yeah, I feel like nowadays when you look at producers, it's kind of like a what's the word? Kind of like a path that they take. Yeah, like it's producer and artist. Then it's producer on everything after that. If they're like that kind of good, because like when I think about what's his name? The dude who does beats for Flea a lot, Cash Cobain. You know who Cash Cobain is?
I've
Cash
seen
Cobain.
the name a lot.
Yeah, but anyway, did a lot of beats for Flea, and now they're trying to like get him to do a lot of beats for people in general, like bigger artists, other artists, and kind of things like that. But it started with like, okay, this artist, you hear this tag on every one of that artist's beats, and now you kind of know that producer as well from that artist. And I feel like that's kind of the quote unquote producer path these days, as opposed to producers getting known for doing everybody's beats, you know, at the start, or just like doing a whole bunch of different styles. It's like you go to a producer for a certain style at this point.
For sure. Like I guess also now I feel like another way to make it more clear is like also there was a time where every album that was coming out, like you heard that tag of that producer, like whether it was like like of course Ray Sherman album and whatever albums was coming out that year that Mike Will was hot is like you had a Mike Will beat on your album, like or a couple even, you know what I'm saying? But then I know by the end of his season, I'm not saying he's still not successful, but I just feel like he kind of like dropped the tag in a sense because you heard him on Damn like a couple times, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
he was on Humble and DNA if I'm not mistaken. So
with no tag.
But no tag.
I mean, I don't think that.
And like I feel like I'm not saying he's not successful no more, but I feel like his season of just being on everybody's album like that, as far as like going crazy, is not like it kind of like, all right, but I'm finna just reap my benefits this way on a chiller side, and that's it. Same with Metro.
I mean, I think the tag thing has to do with the whoever like the artist is that you're working with and whatever
for sure.
album that they're doing.
For sure.
Because like when you think of a Damn,
yeah,
I don't even remember hearing any producer tags on.
No, for sure. But I mean, like even that year, you didn't hear the Mike Will tag at all. Not that I remember. I mean, we could fact check that, but
I mean, there was definitely probably
2017.
a Mike Will tag out there in 2017.
We can find
like,
out.
It's out there somewhere, but it just probably
of course
wasn't
there was, but I'm
that
saying not
prevalent of a song.
There you go. That's what I'm saying as far as seasons go.
I mean, I guess I just feel like every producer kind of has their lane now, I guess, is like the new thing, and there's so many of them with so many kind of I wouldn't say different sounds, but just like you get known for doing like one thing, and now you're that guy who does that one thing, and everybody goes to you for that one thing, you know, and you're gonna hear that one thing on, you know, one artist kind of like sound, and then now you're gonna hear it on everybody's sound, and it becomes like that's kind of what happened with Pierre. Like his sound was, you know, the Cardi sound, and then it was the everybody sound for a while. And now it's not so much the sound for a lot of people, but it's still like people who I feel like I hear a lot of people who came out after like Pierre kind of like mimicking his kind of, you know, beat pattern, even though it wasn't like the craziest beat pattern, but people were still like taking after it.
Maybe that's also like a reason why
even like some of the new Cardi songs I feel like have
like influences, but he's not.
But it's
like
not like a Pierre beat.
I was saying maybe that's one of the reasons why producers not I don't want to discredit nobody, but like producers their sound kind of fades because like people like, oh shit, look at this new like type of producing, let me kind of like implement this in my sounds.
It was funny because like I listened to Lancey Foe a lot, and his like hit song is a Pierre beat, but it's not made by Pierre. And I always thought it was like made by Pierre because it has a little like the thing that he does in the beat, like it's on that beat, but it's not Pierre's beat. I thought that was part of Pierre's like tagging system, because that nigga has like 20 different tags for his beats, where it's just like, okay, we know this is Pierre shit versus someone else's shit.
Yeah, I agree. I concur.
Niggas is kind of quiet today. You all right over there?
I'm a little hungry, but
What you hungry for?
I don't know.
Kind of hungry too. That's why I asked.
Damn, I had a point. I think the lifespan of a producer is just a lot shorter nowadays due to YouTube. You know, it's like if I will never meet Pierre, but I can get the closest thing to it, and that'll be YouTube. And then I also feel like it really just depends on who you work with. I think Mars is right on like the duo behalf, because I feel like Take Keith kind of was a product of that. You know, Black Boy JB shot up so fast and went down just as fast as he went up, and then he also worked with Drake, but you don't hear nothing about Take Keith. You feel me? But another thing that I feel like the music industry is kind of shedding light on, a lot of these producers do a lot of different shit, you know, from the mixing of a drum. That still gives them credit. They still produce for different people, but it's not them getting the credit because there's like so many people there, you know? So I'm not trying to like talk down any producer or anything, but I do feel like YouTube and this indie sensation, the accessibility to get the closest thing to it, kind of waters down the the producer, the original one. You feel me? So, yeah.
Yeah, because like before, like early on in like the YouTube beat era, it was always like a rapper type beat, and now we have a lot of producer type beats, like we got a Pierre type beat, we got a Molly Raw type beat, we got a Metro type beat, and it's like now I feel like the status of producers kind of like coming to the forefront has also been a little bit of their setback in that people are trying to really like copy their beats because you have a face to the person. They're more famous than producers now are more famous than producers were, if you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean,
sure.
I feel like we're in kind of in a shift. I feel like a lot of like I like Kenny Beats a lot. I think he's a very versatile producer, and that's the only producer I know right now that is like showing their versatility with the artist.
Yeah.
Because to Mars's point, I think sometimes the producer shows their versatility with the same artist, and it doesn't always translate well. I think he's getting the beats to the right people.
Kenny Beats is definitely someone who like he does that pair system, but he does it with this person, that person, that person, that person. So it's like you get a lot of different like facets of what he does.
Because I personally think the 7-7 by Key, with Kenny, like that shit is great. Like producing Key like that, I would
iconic production for iconic rapping.
And I would have never thought that same Kenny Beats will be producing for like Dominic Fike. You feel me? And to be able to do it godly, we're not talking like, oh, it was okay. Like, no, it was a good fucking beat and it was a good song. It just meshed so well. And he's one person that I'm even talking about that I feel like is pushing the light on like what producers go through. I think Pierre was doing it at one point too. Like, hey, make sure you get a lawyer. Make sure you get this, because it's like it's just so easy to get something. Like I said, the next best thing closest to it. I feel like it'll be interesting to see in years come if like we look at type beats as fakes. You know what I mean? Like to Mars's point with the Lancey Foe thing, I just think to a certain degree is like you respect the grind because we understand we're all trying to make it out of some type of situation. Yeah. But it's like at what cost, Like now you're taking, to some degree, you can say that Lancey Foe is taking money out of Pierre's pocket. Mm-hmm. You feel me? You can say like these YouTube type beats are taking money out of his pocket because now these producers may not give him the respect that he deserves, or these artists that he may want to work with may not give him the respect he deserves due to the fact that like, hey, the whole world sounds like this. I'm okay, bud.
And then think about like drill beats. Like, who do you even give that sound to? And those all sound the same. And but it's like so many producers producing that same sound.
And don't get me wrong, music will forever go through phases. Like I think you said it earlier, Mars, that like, it was really rap heavy. But I don't remember post Kanye everybody trying to do a soul sample all of a sudden. You can tell me if I'm wrong. It was a thing.
Sample?
It was a thing before. It was always gonna be a thing. Let's make that clear. But it was a thing before Kanye. Soulful beats and sampling everything. Yeah. But post Kanye, I don't know if I can name like a hit that had like a soulful chopped up sample going crazy, and you know what I mean.
And that's kind of like the thing. Like, and really like think about this. Like, how many producers can you really name from like like before like the 2010s that were like your big name producers, like that was producing for like, let's say, Jay-Z, Lil Wayne, all these kind of people. You can name like a handful, right? But now name producers, the list goes on and on. You have like we just named just now like 10 different producers already.
But also producers used to get paid like way more back then.
I mean, everybody used to get paid,
I know,
quote unquote,
so like
more for the music back then.
Let's that's what I'm saying. Like there was a point Scott Storch was making 80 bands off.
That's so crazy.
A beat.
I was literally about to say Scott Storch. That was so crazy. Like I was literally
Scott Storch like used to just.
Yeah, I mean, you got your.
He's
Scott
the like
Storch.
first person to own a Bugatti like in the hip hop like world. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like, that just to show you like the level of how much money he was making.
Yeah, Scott Storch was huge back then.
You know what I'm saying?
Huge. And that's an interesting thing to think about. Like when you said that they made more money back then, and it's just like now
because it was so scarce. Also,
now like you might make more money around music by being a music artist, but like actually from your music, back then you was making there was so many people who was like able to really like live off just making those beats.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And now it's not so much like that. Like you can't have like your one big song, you need like 10 of those a year. You know what I mean? To really like thrive off the same one
And
from 2000s.
I think like even to go against Benji's point, really, I feel like producers, music and stuff wasn't scarce. It was the fact that I think trends lasted longer. Like if Pierre blew up 10 years ago, he would still be one of the top producers. Not one of them. He would be the top because the fact that it wouldn't have been a trend. We can call it a trend. It would have been a long trend. You feel me? Like I remember, and I think this is probably the only time I can give an really example is post a Milli Lil Wayne. I heard tons of sample beats all of a sudden. Tons of like little voices with a basic beat pattern or drum pattern for you to rap on. That was a hit. But that was a trend for a longer series of time. I feel like like today is like I think samples are coming back in clearly. That then by sample I mean that lead the song, not just be in the background. It essentially saved the fucking song. I think that's a huge thing. You know, you just get a good emotional sample, you hop on, you rap, you call it a fucking day.
Yeah.
And I think that's a trend, but it's not gonna last long because I feel like I think YouTube is not getting the credit in this conversation because whatever's next is already here.
Yeah.
You feel me? Like whatever producer is blowing, it's already there. And chances are the difference between, I could be wrong, I was in the industry back then, still not, but people now keep their ears to YouTube. I think if I'm not mistaken,
I mean,
like 2 years, what was it? Rocky's 2 projects ago, he gave a nigga off YouTube like 3 beats. He got 3 beats off YouTube for his album.
Found Panda off YouTube.
Like you feel me? And like
Designer
that
shit off Cash Money AB all the time.
Yeah, and
that's
like
the thing now. Like, and think about like Whole Lotta Red. There was a lot of kind of like smaller producers that was
like
doing that. You know
so
what I mean?
I just feel like producing. I don't even want to just give it like producing. I feel like mixing, producing, all like the people that you would essentially think are behind an artist and don't get the credit. I think we're in an era now where like since YouTube is a thing, social media, it's like they get shine more light, but at the same cost, they're also so expendable because people are putting their work out there. Like everybody has a portfolio now, So it's like
Everybody does.
You might get more exposure now, but the money is thinner.
Yeah,
because you can't ask for as much when there's 10 of you out there. Yeah. You know, you might shine, but still.
That's what I meant about like producers being scarce. Is because like,
maybe you're saying like very good quality producers.
No,
is that
I
what
don't
you're saying?
the reason why somebody like Scott Storch was so scarce, and this is why, because we're not just talking about like a couple of years, and we're not just talking about a couple of songs. We're talking about hits from all types of genres, pop, hip hop, R&B. Like I'm talking about, they didn't even back to the roots. Scott Storch's roots is the roots. Like he was in the roots. You know what I'm saying?
On
That's
the same kind of thing. Like maybe on his side of thing, but just think like, can we take one of these producers from now, pull them out of now, and take them back then, and they do the same thing?
Yes.
Like,
and the reason,
just imagine.
The
like,
reason why I'm saying that is because I think
he actually does.
I think we can.
Scott Storch actually has like a couple like platinum songs on like Russ album and like a platinum song off of the box. Not the box. I'm talking about a Roddy song.
Rich. Yes, he has one good Roddy Rich song.
A really good one.
And he probably does have a few more in the gym or whatever. But what I'm saying is, and I could be wrong, 'cause you guys can testify, but like I don't think the industry was so coming forward of the streets before, and by the streets I mean people trying to earn their way in. A Scott Storch would have stayed in his position because of the fact they weren't allowing no one else to be in. Now anyone can break through, bro. So I'm not trying to take away from that man's success. All I'm saying is I feel like if you take a Pierre and you threw him back there and he got his limelight, of course it would have been longer. Of course it would have been because to me back then, it didn't even matter what you could and couldn't do. It was the fact that you already blew up. That's all that mattered. I think today is different. Today, I think
it's very hard to say just because music back then was a lot less computer program based.
I agree with your point.
So that's a little like that's another argument to like add.
The reason why I just feel like your point is still weak is because a lot of those producers can't make hits today. Name a Timbaland hit.
I'm not saying
name a Timbaland hit. Name a Timbaland hit.
They don't have to like
name a Timbaland hit.
They don't have to make a
name a Timbaland hit.
They don't have to. That's what I'm saying.
Name a Timbaland hit.
They don't have to. Like they've done it for.
Thank you.
And
don't say Timbaland. And don't say Timbaland out in the studio. Don't say he's not.
Like, put it
Thank
like
you.
this: the lifespan of a producer now can range from 1 to 2 years. The lifespan of a producer back then could last 5 to 10.
Why? Why, Benji? I just told
Because
you
they
why.
were scarce. That's what I'm saying. There wasn't that many.
That's not
to be
why.
That is why.
That's not.
That is
bro,
why. It's
time
like,
out.
That's
Hold
like
on, hold on, hold
if
on.
I have 100 producers to choose from today, which I do, I have really 1,000. I can go on YouTube right now. That's not scarcity at all. I can go on YouTube right now and find
I'm about
millions
to kill
of
his
producers.
point. I'm about to kill his
How?
point because what you're saying is absolutely wrong. The music, and we can pull it up right now. If you made a hit in 2000, chances are there was 30 other songs that sounded exactly the same.
That's
Bro,
not
and
scarcity then. That's what I'm
you know
saying.
why? You know why? Because it was like, that's a formula. Let's just copy it. That's it. Bro, bro, everybody has the same, hear me out. Everyone has the same top 30, 50, 2,000 hit songs. You wanna know why? Because everything else sounds the exact fucking same. Everything. Am I wrong? Bro, if you name...
Now you're talking
hold on.
about songs. I'm talking about producers. And
Do
that's what I'm
producers
talking
not
about.
make songs?
That's what I'm talking about. A
Do
producer.
producers not make
That's what I'm
songs?
talking about. A producer from the
I feel
catalog
we
of like
should
Scott
just pull up
Storch.
the
Again, that's
facts.
what I'm saying.
Like, I don't
Pull
know.
up the facts.
That's what I'm saying,
bro.
bro.
T-Pain and Lil Wayne and Akon was on a roll, and all those songs sounded the same. But we didn't give a fuck because it was good. Am I wrong?
We're still talking about. I'm talking
Chris
I don't
about.
know if any of that was
Chris
different
Brown's-
producers. I'm
Chris-
not sure if any of those are
Chris
different
Brown's
producers.
favorite run.
That's
that
what
every,
I'm saying.
every
All different producers. What I'm trying to get at
it
is
sounded the same though. That's
I'm
my
not
point.
I'm not saying that, Benji.
Yeah.
I'm saying I don't know who those producers were.
My
Like,
point.
trying to say
My point. Bro, I'm dead ass serious right now. And there's nothing wrong with this. I'm not. Please let me say this. I'm
Yeah.
not taking away from no Scott Storch. I love him. I don't know him.
Yeah.
He's a good guy.
Yeah.
I hope so. What I'm saying is, if you blew up back then,
Yeah.
you had a longer lifespan.
Of course.
Due to the fact that people want to recreate that sound. I don't think that's much of a thing anymore.
Because you can't do it now because the attention span of everybody right now
That's
is like
my
quick.
point.
That's what I'm saying.
And you want to know why the lifespan is so much shorter? Because there's so much good ass producers that can do so much.
That's what I'm getting at. That's why it's not as scarce today. That's what I'm saying.
No, he's not. He's taking away. He's saying that YouTube is taking away that.
I didn't say that.
Yes, you did.
No,
you said
I'm-
I can go on YouTube and find 1,000 people. Can we replay this?
I can go on YouTube and find 1,000 producers. I really
Okay, cool.
could. I can actually fact check
point,
that.
Okay,
Isn't that right?
I'm gonna end my point.
That's all I'm saying.
I'm gonna end my point with this. When Chris Brown was on top of his shit, I don't care
Yeah.
what y'all say. His music sounded similar, especially produce wise. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
He had some drums and dance for some more dancing moves, but it sounded similar. That was a Chris Brown sound. Correct or incorrect? When B2K, B5, and all the people started coming out, they all sounded the same. Incorrect or correct?
Yeah.
Because it worked, bro. It's a hit. It's a fucking fact.
Your argument is
Hold
that
on.
music sounded the same. That's not my argument.
Hold on. Let me finish.
That's not my argument.
It's a fact. It's a fucking fact that people think if you get this big name with music and this person in the studio, it will work. And that's my point back then. Because even if I couldn't afford a Scott Storch, let's say, okay, cool, let's make something similar. You feel me? And to me, that's what came into this generation. What I'm saying is, if you pull up 2,000 hits, we're all going to agree that those are all hits. I think if you pull up a 2018 hit track, we'll probably disagree. Why? Because the sound is different. But if you pull up 2000s, we're all going to agree because the sound is the same. It was like, yo, Benji called a hit. Okay,
You know what's
cool.
crazy? I just
Okay,
thought about
cool.
something, though.
No, hold on. Benji called a hit with Beyonce. I gotta get Beyonce. Okay, I can't. Let me get something similar to Beyonce. Let me at least get the mood and everything else. That was the formula.
Yeah.
That's why niggas can never make it into the industry. Because if you didn't look like Beyonce or sound like Lil Wayne or Kanye, you couldn't get in. So my point is, if as time went on, we allowed more to happen, how does that not help Pierre? How does that take away from him because there's thousands of him? It takes money out of his pocket because now we're looking at him like, oh, you're just a YouTube producer. Oh, you're just around for the times. Why? Because to your point, attention spans are shorter.
Yep.
Music lasts is shorter. That does not take away from the fact that Pierre is a godly ass producer. And it doesn't take away from Scott Storch either. But all I'm saying is music never changed. It did it. And when it did, these motherfuckers can't make a hit. Where is Timberland? Where is he? Where's Timberland? Can someone answer me? Can someone answer me? Thank you.
Where is Pierre?
What? Making fucking money, bro.
Timbaland is still making money.
He made what's last Pierre hit?
Bro, you gotta. You're talking about age ranges,
no.
dog. You're in a
We're
whole
talking about
demographic
hits.
now.
Hold on.
Like
We're talking about hits, right?
Timbaland's time has come. We know
don't
that.
even know where this
That's not my
argument is
point. I'm not
going anymore.
arguing that.
That's,
Like,
no, I don't care.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
your point.
Yeah.
Your point was that Scott Storch was godly, and I'm not taking away from that. All I'm saying
That wasn't even my point.
All I'm saying
That
is
wasn't even my point. I was just saying that
you
producers
can't-
back then
Can
were
you look up
scarce.
Timberland's most recent hit for me?
you can't.
That has
name-
nothing to prove
No,
against
no,
my
that's-
point.
I just want to know. I just want to
That's
know.
my
At this
point.
point, he
Well,
didn't
that's
yell
not my
about it.
point.
to-
I
to-
You're
want-
I
arguing
just
a
wanna
point
know.
that I
I
never
want to
had.
know 5 producers
Yeah.
from the early 2000s
Yeah.
that has even semi of a hit today, and you can't name one. You can't.
That, bro, of course, because the
Can I have
times
your
is
phone?
different.
I
Like,
wanna
that's
find
so-
out.
Okay, so
Like,
you're not getting my point. The times are different. To me, if Pierre is ready to live through 3 of his own generation, because everybody posts Pierre as a Pierre ass producer. If he's still floating around while music has changed exponentially, does that not speak volumes? Versus when Scott Storch's music never changed? When Timberlake came out with them crazy ass drums, music never changed.
Shit, he tripping by saying that. Nah, no cap. That's
no,
that's
what
foul.
I'm saying
I'm
is,
sorry.
I don't care. I'm not taking it back.
Yeah, you cannot take it back,
When
but it's
music
foul.
changed back then, it was definitely slow but steady. Slow but steady. Now, bro, you don't know what is a hit. Track Star is a hit. No Parties in LA is a hit. 2 separate complete songs, bro. Am I tripping here, bro? Bro, Dirk makes hits.
Yeah.
I don't see Timberland on that shit. The fuck? I don't see no
This is
Scott
a different-
Storch. The
because-
fuck?
because we got
I'm
20-year-old
not done.
producers
I'm
now.
not done. Vaughn makes hits, and those are old regular
Yeah,
beats.
yeah.
Am I wrong? Rest in peace to Vaughn. X made hits.
Yeah.
Where's Scott? Well, fuck all that. Where's all the Miami producers at? Nowhere to be found. They're not fucking with that sound because they're too dumb, thinking that they're gods and can't be touched. Bro, music changes way too fast for niggas to not give these producers their credit. I don't give a fuck if they copying or not, bro.
Yeah, yeah.
Because at the end of the day, niggas, I gotta respect my beats. I gotta respect this. Niggas can't touch this. That's cool. Stay in your fucking corner and die there. All I'm saying is, it is harder to be a producer today and stay on top and continue to stay on top. Like he said, and like you said, to y'all disagreeing points, you said the pairing, you said the Scott Storch thing, right? Excuse me. I feel
I said
like
season.
my
Yeah.
fault. I feel like because of the simple fact, don't know when y'all want to agree when this happened. I think it was early 2012, 13 when Migos and Drake came out. Music moves too fast. To me,
It does.
If
I agree
you
with
as a
that.
producer can keep up with the times and continue to evolve with the times, it speaks volumes on your career. That's all I'm saying. No one in this room can name me producers that's still making hits. That's all I gotta say. No one can. Name someone from 2000 era that's still making a hit. Please name them.
Mike Dean.
A producer?
What?
Most times, and shut the fuck up. Most
Bro,
times,
this man goes back to Scarface.
Most times,
I won there. You can't say shit.
he gets credits for most times on most albums and projects on the outro. Get the fuck out of here.
What?
Am I wrong?
Oh, he tripping.
Am I wrong? You're right with Scarface. I'll give you that. But most time, Mike Dean goes crazy, and it's not taken away from him.
Going back 2000.
Go
We
ahead.
talking about 20 years now.
Why is he going back so far, bro? I'm talking about today.
I'm just
I'm
saying.
talking about
I'm
today.
saying from then till now.
All I'm saying is, bro, I'm
I
not
just
gonna-
want to look something up.
I'm not gonna waste my
Let's
time.
look up a
on-
last
And I
Mike Dean
love
hit.
Mike. I love Mike Dean.
Let me see your
You
phone.
can
I'm not
really-
gonna get one.
No, it don't even matter because that Mike Dean hit. I swear to God, I have 30 other producers. But continue. Anyway, Mike Dean, when he's in the studio, he gets credit for every fucking thing.
Of course.
Writing, producing, and mixing. So he's
All
not even-
producers get credit for writing. That's like their
No,
first
it's
name
not.
because they're a co-writer.
No, it's
They're-
not. No, that's not.
Well, then the ones that don't got fucked up. I'm not gonna lie, that's their own fuck up or something happened wrong. Because every producer should have publishing. Every producer should have writing
Okay,
credits,
that's
and
cool.
all producers
That's cool.
do.
All I'm saying
Usually.
is, don't get me wrong.
This man is 56. Shit.
Niggas can linger around, and I love the fact that he brought up Mike Dean because to me, that's the only person that comes to the testament. And to him, to me, it doesn't really count.
Like that's a scarce ass
What?
type of person. Like to have a Mike Dean like in the
But
world.
hear me out.
That's scarce,
But
bro.
hear me out. To Mars's point,
Like-
are we not associating Mike Dean to good music?
I mean,
Hold on. In 2021,
now-
in 2020, 2019, fuck all that. 2018 post, are we not saying Mike Dean is good music?
Outside of his own music that he makes
Okay,
like
thank
by
you.
himself, yeah, I'm
What?
only
But that's still
looking at him as like a Travis
Well,
artist
the last thing he
or a
actually
Kanye
produced
artist,
up
maybe.
and down, the last project he produced that I know of, you can tell me if I'm wrong, up and down, I mean Mike Dean, not nobody else
Yeah, yeah.
influence, was 070 Shake. Who was she signed to?
good music.
Thank you.
What is the good music? Like I'm not even trying to argue. I just want to know. I don't get it.
He is paired. He's not making hits. As in, to your point, when you name Scott Storch's hits, that
Yeah.
was radio everywhere. To me, it's harder to keep up with the times.
Yeah.
So people rather get
Listen. This is again back to my point about scarcity. Back then, a label. I'm not even going to an artist. I'm going back to a label. Labels is like you said. Oh shit, this song sounds good. We need a producer or we need a song that sounds like this. Period. when you reach out to Scott Storch, you want what he can give you. And the thing is, his range at that time, because he was scarce, a Scott Storch level type producer, again, like I said, is scarce at that time. This is what my point. He can fall into multiple genres. Like, I'm not trying to discredit nobody, but if I can go on YouTube right now, like, a lot of producers are just trying to sound like other producers. And again, it might have been like that in the 2000s again, but the ones that were the most prominent were making the most money, and they had the most hits, they had the most billboards, and they were the most stars, and they had the more.
Agreeing to my point. I think Mars is about to say it though.
Yeah, I feel like
What
you were arguing was something completely different from what he was
That's what I'm
arguing.
saying.
But y'all were making the same point.
Like, no, he's
Because-
arguing.
No.
I was just saying it's scarce. That's it. That was my point.
That's not what I'm saying. It was
I
never
know that's
scarce.
not what
But you were
I know
arguing
that's
that.
not what you're saying, that it's scarce. But what I was about to try to bring in is that, you know, like you were saying, like, when you have like this hit song,
Yeah.
they just made like the sound that was like the same.
Yeah.
What I was about to argue is that I don't know if it's different producers that are making that same sound, or if it's the same producers that are just continuing to make the same thing over and over again.
I know one person that like constantly had the same sound for like a long time, and he still has the same sound. Of course, he's not making his, but Bangladesh, he had Lemonade, he had a Millie, like, you know what I'm saying, like. He had a breakup song by Mario and Gucci. Like, he had hits and shit.
A good question with this is just like,
And
okay,
he had a sound.
Name like a hit song from the 2000s. Like, let's say Change Clothes, Jay-Z. Mm-hmm. A song that sounds similar to that. Name one just like off the top of your head.
I can't.
I'm gonna pull up a 2000 list, and we can just name it off, and we can
Yeah.
agree or disagree. I think.
Yeah, I mean, I just want to know the producers, because I feel like a lot of those songs are gonna have like the same producers.
Yeah.
Like, and it kind of.
And
That's
if you
why
have,
I said it goes to y'all.
and if you have the same producer, there's not that many producers to
But they
begin
are
with.
gonna make the same
It's like
sound.
nowadays there's so much more music, so there's gonna be a lot more producers. That's like duh. Like that's like there's like let's even be honest.
And
Like
I
scarce.
still want to know like Timbaland's most recent hit, just because I feel like I just recently seen him like pair up with someone who was, you know, younger. Like,
you.
I know.
I don't get that point
I just
still. I
want
still
to
don't
know
understand that
what
point.
his most recent hit is.
Yeah.
I don't have my phone. Can
What
someone
I'm saying
please
is,
look it up for me?
to me, to your point, I'm not looking at it. I'm not gonna find anything.
Yeah.
To your point, right? And I guess y'all saying we're not agreeing or we're talking about the same thing. I don't get it, but
I don't get that either.
so let me just go over this before I talk. You're saying, and everybody can disagree or agree. Benji is saying that producers were scarce. Can we start there, right? Back then,
Yeah.
2000s, right?
Great producers.
Great. I'm saying that was never a thing.
I'm saying.
What I'm saying is the industry, and I think we can all agree, if you didn't look a certain way, know this person, suck this person's dick, whatever the fuck, to get into that room, we weren't getting looked at. What I'm saying is that I've been arguing is I don't think it's fair to say it was scarce. We didn't have YouTube. That's my point. And to my point, to add to that, with now having YouTube, with now, to your point, being able to find thousands of producers in 2 seconds,
Yeah.
to me, if you're still able to make it out of those odds, and not on top of that, let's add more to that fucking building I'm making
Yeah.
here. Let's add more.
Yeah.
Let's add a roof now, right?
Yeah, yeah,
You're
yeah.
on the roof. If you can now take this house and say, okay, I'm done with it
Yeah.
here, and hop on anything else, wow! Let's not forget YouTube. Let's not forget everybody trying to copy a sound that is making money. We ain't even talking just a little sound card. We're like making hits right now. You feel me? If you're able to now move on, because we understand music moves faster. Can we agree on that? Or are we not agreeing on that? Music moves way faster now, right? Bro, the Cardi sound is still alive and well due to the fact that he killed it. You feel me? That's another discussion, but that's all I'm saying. To me, and I'm not, and it's gonna sound like this, I'm not taking away from Scott Storch. To me, all I'm saying is, when you made a hit back then, you were the hit maker. We went to you for
Yeah.
those hits. We didn't want to look nowhere because that was the
I
formula.
want to ask you
That's
one
what
thing.
I'm
Can I
saying.
ask you
That's
something?
That's what I'm
was
As a
saying.
producer, if a producer makes one hit, does that make him a great producer?
No, if it's just one.
One hit. I'm not. Well, yeah. Like right now, a producer became a hit maker. Right now, he's a hit maker though because he has one hit. Right? Is he a great producer?
No.
Scott Storch was a scarcity because he was a great producer at that time. Of course, your point is like, yes, I get
Stop
it.
throwing the scarcity and great producer, because I'm not arguing with the great producer part. I'm arguing with the scarcity.
Wait,
It's
so what?
Scarcity.
So I guess like, are you arguing with scarcity because you're saying there were producers out there that just weren't making?
Bro,
they just
hell
weren't
yeah,
big?
there was always producers. But
He's making it seem And I don't.
Because I feel like I need an example now.
Okay, so what I'm saying.
No,
is,
tell him what you're gonna say. Tell him what I'm making it seem to see if that's what
Okay.
that's what
He's
that's what
making-
Mars is thinking that I'm
he's-
saying.
To me, his
Because maybe
point-
Mars don't see what you're saying.
His point is that Scott Storch is this versatile producer. We don't know the guy.
Yeah.
I think it's different to call someone versatile when they've got a hit back then because they become the person that has to make these hits. Now you're pushing yourself in these. Oh, it might not even be him. It might be his team. Man, would have like, yo, no, you got to do this. They want your name on it. You got to make something shake.
Yeah, yeah.
Versus today, but you're not gonna tell me 777 Kenny Beats is about to work with Dominic Fike. That's not about to happen.
Yeah.
Why is that happening though?
Yeah.
Because he can keep up with the sound and the time. Versus what I'm saying is Mars made a hit in 2000, right?
Yeah.
Coming out fresh, he made a crazy, and I saw it's gonna be R&B, a crazy R&B hit. You know what they're gonna say? I think you need to be with Scott Storch because he got them hits. Not
Yeah.
oh, let's make a sound. Not oh, work with this. It's just the fact he already
Okay.
got a hit.
See, I don't think that's what he's saying.
That's what I'm saying.
But
yeah, that's not what I'm
that's-
saying.
I'm
yeah.
going against the fact that he's saying that and he is a great producer. That's what I'm saying. Why are you saying he is scarce and he's a great producer when
But
to
that's
me,
not what I'm saying to begin with.
you just said he's scarce and he's a great producer.
no,
Like whatever
see,
I'm saying, Mars is getting it. Because
Like,
I'm not
what I'm saying-
He said whatever I'm saying at this point. Because I'm
Because
not.
I think he's arguing this. I don't know if scarcity is the right word. Whatever. It might not be. I'm not sure. But what he's saying is more so, it's not. That's why I'm saying you're arguing one thing and you're arguing one thing.
Yeah.
Y'all aren't arguing against each other.
Yeah.
Y'all just arguing towards the same
Put it like
direction.
this. Put it like this. Put it like this.
Like Scott Storch, his hits that he made were all the same hit. People went to whenever like someone made their hit and blew up, they said, okay, you gotta go and get that Scott Storch
Yeah, yeah.
sound.
Yes.
Like you gotta go and get that
Scott
Pharrell
Storch
sound. You
was
gotta go and
literally
get
the
that
first
Wood
Fruity
sound.
Loops, bro.
He's not.
He was.
I don't think you weren't saying that
Yeah,
Scott
yeah.
Storch was versatile.
Yes, he did.
Did you say that Scott Storch
yes,
was
he's very,
versatile?
very versatile. He is versatile.
Okay,
period.
see now, yeah.
Thank
Bro,
you.
he had songs. Look,
Thank you.
he had,
No.
Yeah.
He's versatile in the sense that he crossed genres, but it wasn't because he made different types of beats.
Oh,
it was
I-
just because his songs weren't
Key,
that big.
please. Bro,
we're
please
not-
tell me.
Bro,
He had
and the
different
thing
types
is-
of
no,
beats, bro.
I'm
I don't know.
he-
I
and
guess
the
I
thing
just
is-
more
the
know
thing
of
is,
the Scott
I'm
Storch
hearing you. I
catalog.
really am hearing you right now.
Yeah, yeah.
But I promise you, if we pull up a Scott Storch, these versatile hits,
Yeah, yeah.
you'll see 30 different producers. You pull up, and this is not to take away from Scott Storch. If you pull up the same people that make hits today, Pierre, that's Pierre's hit.
Nah.
There's nobody else.
This is
And
what I'm about to
not-
get to. Scott Storch was the first Fruity Loops, not a producer. He was Fruity Loops. What I mean by that, he can emulate any instrument, any sound by a piano because he was such a great pianist. I don't know what you're about to say, but he was. He, like right now, all,
this is just
yeah, I
funny
do.
now.
I do. I'm not gonna lie. I do because like he's a great inspiration for
Is
me.
that his real name?
Yeah. Huh?
Is that his real name?
Scott Storch?
Yeah.
I think so.
Oh, I
I
thought
believe
you
so.
knew him.
No. I mean, I don't. I never
You
looked
don't know
up
his
that.
name, huh?
Like,
Man, that's crazy.
like,
That's crazy.
I think. I don't know why it wouldn't be though. Like, I mean, it could have. I mean, I don't know.
Sound like a real nigga name.
Scott Storch, huh?
Roddy Rich?
You believe that, don't you?
nah, I
you
know
believe
that.
that, don't you?
That's his real name? His middle name is Spencer. Scott Spencer Storch.
Yeah,
Scott
like the
Spencer
fuck.
Storch.
I mean, back then, of course, everybody was just calling. I
Yo,
guess them.
I
I mean,
would
people
love-
had nicknames, of course, but I don't
Yeah.
think it was such a prominent thing to just like not go by your real name.
This argument we're having here, I love it. I think it's the best one we've had. I would love to have like Keegan on this conversation next time, and also like a bigger producer, because I feel
Yeah.
like we're talking from an outside perspective, and we have Bihana here. We might have to join in for this. He might be useful for this. I just think it's different.
It
And
is
we
different.
we can't say 'cause we're not in this position. I think it's different when these opportunities come to you because of your hit.
It's
And you-
different,
and
but-
hold on.
yeah.
And you make something work. Versus when the times are changing and your sound
Yeah.
is becoming it. That's all. That's my biggest point.
yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
So hold on, the first one. Who is that you're referring to for that the first part where you said
I feel okay. Timbaland, we can agree is a great producer.
Yeah, he is,
Once
yeah,
again,
for
my
sure.
argument is not take away any respect on these people.
Yeah.
A great producer, cool. He caught a hit, which I think a lot of people, the music industry do because that's why they're in there.
Yeah.
You catch a hit, and back then to me, and I think we could all agree, everything was kind of a formula.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you blow up, you got to be with this guy. Chances are you got to somehow finagle a Lil Wayne feature,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
you're
Yeah.
it. That's
Yeah,
all
that-
it took,
yeah,
and
that's
that's
the
what I'm
formula.
saying. I feel like that's not today, because if Pierre blows up tomorrow, this is just an example. There's no guaranteeing his sound is going to be the best sound, and let's copy it. No, it's the fact that he worked. He said, "Yo, I'm not just Pierre. I can make hits on hits." Tekashi 6ix9ine.
Yeah.
Cardi. And the thing is, no one wanted to respect these people. Trippy. These are all people will call goats today.
Yeah.
You feel me? That's different to me. Who are you saying that Scott Storch did that with? That he wasn't already this hit maker. Like, who did he make and give a hit and made their career? Thank you.
I don't.
That's my point. I don't care. You take it too long. That's too long.
You take
I
it
can
too
come
long.
and tell you. You just know him. You know him. Name somebody.
I don't look at them as that though. That's your opinion though. That's yeah. So that's why like I don't look at it. But he did work with
And
great.
that's-
Yeah,
And
that's what I'm saying.
That's my point.
Like-
It's like,
Like I don't think no producer. Like I don't give a fuck. Like I think it's a 50-50. Like I don't want to take away anything from the artist. I don't want to take anything away from the producer. Because the same way you can say a producer makes an artist, that's like saying the artist made the producer. I think they both make each other.
Definitely make Blah Boy JB.
I don't care what
But
no.
he's nothing.
I don't
like he
care.
didn't make.
Who's nothing?
Black Boy JB.
Oh,
Like he's
okay.
nothing. You know what I'm saying?
That's not fair.
And that's
That's
why
not fair.
that's why you see Tay Keith outshined because he's
But that
really.
really just goes against what you just said.
What you
that it
mean?
was 50-50.
that,
Black Boy is
song,
nothing.
that song is 50-50. But I'm saying, like, as you can see, when you take Keith out the situation, what do you get? You needed half and half to make a whole, right? But when you took Take Keith out the equation,
But if
it's
it's
like
half
you got
and
a
half, he
0.5.
should be
I don't
able
want
to
no
go.
0.5. I want a whole.
No, but he should have been. Black Boy should have been able to go out there and find another
should have
half.
been,
There was
right.
a whole bunch of other
But he's-
producers out there.
he should have been,
Tay
right.
Keith
You
went
would
out there
think,
with a whole
right.
bunch of other artists
You
and
would think,
found
right.
his shit.
Yeah,
All I'm saying is,
he's not that great though.
But Tay Keith is. That's
Yeah,
that's
Tay Keith
kind of,
is,
that's
though.
why it's
All
not
Tay
half
Keith
and
is.
half.
all respect to Take Keith too. 'Cause I think Take Keith ended up fucking working on a Bon Iver project.
Take Keith hard. Take Keith hard.
Tay
bro.
Keith is too hard, man.
Take Keith. Take
What I'm saying is,
yeah. The
I
tag.
I think a lot more producers today, and I could be completely wrong because I don't know these.
I don't think
niggas.
you're wrong. It's just your opinion.
I know. I still think I could be wrong because I just feel like I'm speaking from an outsider. You know, I'm not in.
But I
these
mean,
rooms.
even the insider, sometimes the outside, we have a different way of looking in at
Yeah.
the inside because we're seeing it from a whole different perspective. There's producers right now
profound.
that are still failing and they're in their industry. Like, could you imagine that?
Yeah, I understand.
That's the worst.
All I'm saying is, you take a Molly Rod, would there still be a Uzi? That's an interesting point. You take a Pierre, is there still a Cardi? That's an interesting point. Correct, right?
Yeah.
But if you take away Trippy, this person, and from Cardi, from Pierre,
Yeah.
those beats were still there. And that's my point. That's my point.
Damn, you know
And
what's
that-
crazy?
And that sound was still made. And I'm gonna continue to say the whole fucking podcast. I'm not taking away from Scott Storch.
I'm gonna hit
Because
Pierre.
from the roots, from everything he named some great people. He didn't
I
name
know
no
Pierre too.
He didn't
Yeah.
name nobody that went from nothing into something. That's all I gotta say. That speaks.
He would
that
probably
speak-
want to charge, though.
that speaks for an interview.
I was just going to hit him up like, you got time to do a podcast.
But I think it speaks volumes for a producer to be able to make a sound and step away from it and also be able to evolve. And I'm not saying Scott should never
Yeah,
evolve
yeah, yeah.
because, he had 10 years?
Yeah.
It's a fucking long time.
You know what's crazy? I'm the first person in this room to know of Pierre and hear his greatness. So, like, I know that I'm not saying he's not. I'm for sure.
Like, why are you the first person?
Because years ago, 2014.
I could kill this right now, but I'm not.
SAE. He used to go to SAE, and it was a beat contest. Yeah, it was a beat contest, and my homie used to go to school at SAE, so he invited me, and I went with Sav at the time. Bleep that out.
So
yeah.
where you can't say his name.
Yeah. I went with him,
You said it
and then
again.
I
Shit,
told
that's
Sav, I
crazy.
was like, bro, let's go. Maybe we might find
again.
some dope producers. Maybe we might. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
So we got there, and you know what I'm saying. There was like 20 producers like competing against each other because like the prize was like you get like a placement on V103 ad or some shit like that. This man Pierre came in second, and I remember like, bro, this man Pierre is so much better. The guy that won was like, everybody was like talking to him and shit. And while nobody's talking to Pierre, meanwhile he just got off at work at Zaxby's because he had on his Zaxby's uniform. I told Sav, I was
Maybe
like, bro,
you should just clip this and send it to him like, yo, can we do a podcast? This,
Yeah.
this story is really detailed.
This is good. This is good.
Because he at the time he used to go by, not Pierre, he used to go by Sauce House.
Yeah.
Yeah,
his tag
yeah.
was Sauce House. Like that's how I knew him. Yeah. I was supposed never mind. So yeah, and I was like, yo, bro, this motherfucker, like, he really won. He's better than this motherfucker. This motherfucker trash.
What do you remember? Number one's name?
I don't know, but I could tell you who he looked like. You probably don't know. You know, like DC Young Fly. You know, like DC Young Fly has like
Yeah.
a comedy group.
Yeah.
There's, you know, the bald one. Actually, there's two bald
The
ones.
bald
There's,
one.
there's like
No,
a light skinned
no.
short bald one.
I
Well,
have
he
no
looks like
idea.
that.
Just continue, bro.
Anyways,
I have no idea.
fucking, I was like, yo, we need to talk to him, like, cause nobody talking to him right now. And we went up and talked to him, just like, bro, your shit was dope. You really won. And he said, appreciate that. And by the end of the day, we ended up like just linking with him. Like I didn't smoke, but they ended up smoking and shit. We ended up just like kind of walking around the block, talking about all kinds of shit. And yeah, I got like, that's how we got linked in with Pierre before, you know what I'm saying? And then he who I won't say his name, fucking like fell out with him hard, and that's kind of like how the end of that ended.
Damn.
He burnt that bridge basically.
I'm gonna leave it at this, 'cause I think we can argue all day. I feel like
He said, send
I
the
just
play.
like it's kind of like it's like the basketball era. It's like
Yeah.
you can say Michael Jordan's better
Yeah.
because he went through more physical play, and that's
Yeah.
something I agree. I feel like Michael Jordan played way more during physical time than LeBron James, but I think LeBron James plays against harder opponents
Yeah.
than Michael Jordan. He wasn't going against no Steph. He wasn't going against no AD. He wasn't
Yeah.
going against no Giannis.
Yeah.
You feel me? So I feel like that's essentially what we're saying. We're not taking away from the producers. We're just talking about the time that the producers were in. And can I take away? Can
I
I
have a
take?
good analogy against that though. That means
Okay.
there was scarcity of good players.
No, they just
Great players.
Bro, the tallest, the good tall players back then were like 6'4", 6'5". Now,
Yeah.
they're 6'8".
Because there's way better
It's
great
called
players.
it's called growth. It's called genetics. Okay.
Okay, but they're
it's
greater
called
though.
evolution.
But they're
okay?
greater though. Like, let's be real. Like,
height
You
doesn't
said
make
they're
you,
greater?
height doesn't
like,
make you better.
Like you just said, he wasn't playing against a Steph Curry. Like I'm saying,
but that
like,
doesn't take away from his talent, though.
It doesn't. I'm not saying that.
but-
I'm just going back to the scarcity. That's it. You're thinking that I'm using the word scarcity to justify why certain shit sounds ass.
sounds like to me.
I'm not saying that because he ain't thinking that.
But that's not what it sounds like.
Now it does, yeah.
How?
At first it didn't sound like that, but now because you keep going back to it, it's just like.
What am I like? Am I saying that, Keith?
Hold
Like,
on.
because if
Are
I
you saying?
hold on.
Are you saying?
because
it's
if
more
I do, I
scary-
apologize.
Let's stick to this analogy. 'Cause I think this will clear a lot of
Yeah.
things up for me. Go ahead.
Are you saying it's more scarce now, or it was more scarce back then?
It was more scarce now. Like,
Wait, for good
basketball,
players.
basketball.
oh, we're going back
Yeah,
to my bad. Yeah,
basketball,
we're going back to
basketball.
basketball. Oh, I was about to talk Bruce again. To your point, you said Michael Jordan didn't have AD to play against. He didn't have a Steph Curry who to play against. Well, mind you, he's not even the tallest person. Like, he's, like his height is like not really. You know what I'm saying? Ain't shit no more. You know what I'm saying? He didn't have these type of people to play against. So like now.
Killer point right now. Go ahead.
You know what I'm saying? So, and a lot of that is because, you know, the evolution of basketball is growing. Like, kids are starting at a younger age. Like, you have YouTube
So where
to,
does
like,
the
help with.
scarcity come in?
Yeah, yeah.
That's what I'm waiting for.
Back then, it was
Uh-huh.
more scarce because, you know what I'm saying, the fucking, I'm trying, what's the word? What's the right word? I'm trying to think of the word. I'm sorry.
All
I
right,
really
whatever.
can't.
There's
I'm
no way in
confused,
hell
bro.
back then was more scarce when you came straight out of high school. There's just no way. There's no way you're telling me that. So now you're
Of
telling me
great-
it's more scarce.
It's like
Because
I didn't
they
have
got-
much to. It's like I had no
went from
choice but to pick a high school player. It's like because they were the most prominent at the time, like growing up.
So that makes
I'm
it more
so
scarce?
confused,
That
bruh.
makes no sense.
I'm so confused.
Yeah,
Let's leaving producers way out in the back.
Yeah.
What are we talking about
Okay,
basketball
all right,
here? I'm so confused.
I put it like this. If I have, I guess, 2 colleges, but they're D1 colleges and they're great. It's like I'm talking about every player is now great. Every player is now great. You have a like the point of them reaching the next level. The people that reach that next level, they're gonna be really great because already your colleges, your pre-NBA has already been like formulated. I guess the resource, that's what I'm saying. The resources today is not scarce no more. Like you have YouTube, you have so many forms of resources to be better now. Just like how you today as a producer have so many resources to be better. Key, do you not have more resources today to be a better producer than you would be 20 years from now? 100%. Same as a mixer, same as a videographer. I have resources now. You didn't have resources back then. And you can say that as a fact that bro, what? You had resources.
Wait to kill this. Come on, hurry up.
Do you agree with that? That point as far as resource, that was the word I was trying to look for.
Okay.
that there's more
Resources today to help you become
for-
more of this, of a greater of whatever avenue you're trying to
get that
grade.
point. Go
Yeah.
for producers,
For producers,
basketball
engineer,
players,
podcast,
for-
mixer, like
the
it
point?
doesn't
What's the
DJ.
point? I get that.
That's what I'm saying. So in doing that, you have more great of people that do this thing. You have more great, and you also have more bad.
That's what we're disagreeing. How did that mean you have more great? Bro, there was mad players in the NBA that was not shooting behind the 3-point line. Steph came and fucked shit up. James Harden said, you know, what the fuck is the 3-point line? Give me a 4-point line.
Why they didn't do it before? You want to know why? Because they weren't the same.
Because the resources wasn't the
So
same.
wait, so the 3-point line wasn't there no more?
No, bro, because motherfuckers wasn't starting like now, like again, back to what I'm saying, bro. There is now, listen. Now there's basketball camps now from a super young age. Listen.
Hold on, Benji, before you go with that point.
All right.
James Harden and Steph did not come in the league knocking down threes. Your resources, comment to me when we were sticking this. Didn't change anything. To me, what changed and what I continue to say, times change now.
Of course, but
but you want to know
Yeah.
why? And the reason why I brought up the basketball analogy. Things were formulaic back then.
Yeah.
Get us a 7-footer, get us a 6'5", get us a short point guard, and that's it. Now, nigga, you better be able to shoot from that fucking logo.
Yeah,
Why?
but now,
why is that?
but now, listen. Now that 7-footer who doesn't even know he's about to be 7 feet tall, he now has the resources to learn how to have a shot because he doesn't even know he's gonna be 7 feet. Is that not wrong?
No,
is that not right?
No, that's not right.
That is right.
What do you mean?
That is right.
Everyone, if you were in NBA, you have all the resources. But Russell Westbrook still can't shoot
We're
with all the
talking about-
resources. No. We have NBA players, can we all
Yeah.
agree, that are all in the NBA, still dropping buckets, that can't make a three to save their life. Can we agree?
Yeah.
They have
But
all
you
the
have
resources.
people
Hold on.
that
do.
Hold on, right?
Yeah.
My point to him, and where he's
I
still
think
not...
Mars is confused now at this point. But between both of us,
what
boys.
he's-
This shit is
I'm,
all
I'm-
over the
I'm
place.
ending it after this.
Yeah.
Regardless of what he's saying about 7-footer, 3-pointer, not footer, whatever.
Yeah.
To me, it
Yeah.
is extremely harder to be a basketball player. Off all the points he just... Bro, I can go on my Instagram right now. I can go on my shit right now, my Instagram right now, and probably find 10 hoopers that will bust probably half the league's ass. Why? They couldn't get to college. They couldn't afford it. They wasn't at the number one school, which was easier back then. You go to that good high school, you make some type of name, and then you're done. Now, no, fuck no. Like, to your point, basically everybody in the NBA was a child prodigy. That's harder to me. That speaks to the times. That's what I'm saying, bro. To me, in any sport, I don't even talk on basketball, it is harder to the same point that you're saying. YouTube, D-League, G-League, overseas, all this shit. It doesn't matter, though, because that's how we do our success. It doesn't matter how good you are. It's who you know, who you don't know, what school you go to, this, that, and the third. To me, and we've seen plenty of
I
documentaries.
feel like I'm finally picking up the middle
We
ground.
seen plenty of documentaries where niggas would go to the fucking court and be like, hey, come try out for our basketball team. Our NBA basketball teams. Come try out. What the fuck?
See,
come on.
I feel like with your argument and with your argument, it's like what you're kind of like missing with it as far as like, more resources, whatever,
Yeah.
but it's more resources for everybody. So it's just like the competition is still, it's just more competition. It's just difficulty there.
This is
You
that
get
what
I'm saying?
I'm it's not scarce no more.
But that's the word.
No, but
scarce
that
can't
it
be
doesn't
used like-
change the scarcity.
That's what I'm saying.
It does.
No,
it
it
does a lot.
doesn't.
Yeah, it does a lot.
Bro, you're not finding another
Yes, it-
Steph. Tell me, find him. Let me know.
It's what you're saying.
We about to
is that-
see in 10 years from now when
this-
everybody's being able to shoot from the 5-point
Yeah,
line.
but that's what I'm saying. When it gets to that,
That's
you're
what I'm
it's just progression
Yeah.
at that point.
That's what I'm.
And when it gets to that point, we're gonna have another Steph.
Yeah, yeah.
That Steph is just gonna be able to launch with one hand.
Yeah,
2 basketballs at the same time.
Okay.
but
All right,
my point-
let me
hold
just
on,
let me
but-
just go back to music for like a quick second.
Hold on before you go.
Yeah, okay.
He used the most key word,
Yeah.
progression. That's why I can't take away from these producers.
yeah.
Times change and people got aligned with it. Bringing it back to
That's why I
music
don't bring
and
up Timbaland in
But-
your
but-
argument or whatever.
But my point is,
Yeah.
and the same thing with the argument, what people like to do, who's better, LeBron or Michael Jordan? I personally,
compare them.
I personally think this is the way you answer this.
Yeah.
Can you take Michael Jordan, prime Michael Jordan, and drop him today, and would he go crazy? I don't think so. You take prime LeBron James
Yeah.
and put him in that, he's going crazy.
yeah.
He's doing 100. The fuck? That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You can't take Scott Storch, prime Scott Storch, and think he's going crazy. I don't think so, but my opinion.
Yeah.
And that's my clear argument.
But
That's
like you
it.
said, times have changed. My thing is, again, the scarcity of certain resources allowed for the scarcity of great people involved in these fields, such as a producer, is low. Nowadays, bro, like I can imagine like how many engineers there are now, and that's a great thing. Like I love that. But the shit that Mix by Ali is doing, allowing more, you know what I'm saying? Like nowadays, even from a videographer standpoint, everybody can get a camera now and just shoot a video in 4K. Like, and there's more greatness of that out there. Back then, Hype Williams was directing everything, and did it look the same? Yeah, it did. But it was rare. It was scarce. It was scarce because we didn't. because we didn't have certain resources.
You're arguing this the completely wrong way. Now I really understand.
How
like,
though? How?
Because what you're saying.
Okay.
What you're saying is that there's more resources so that more people can do it.
Yeah.
But that's all just like I said before with basketball. It's just progression. It just
Yeah.
ups the competition.
Yeah.
So now the people who are great, your Scott Storches now, is just like they're just better than the Scott Storch Scott Storch was.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
and now everybody
I'm
is
just
like
Storch.
at that.
all
that
I was
same
saying is
level.
that all right. Basically, it was just less then, and it was more. There's more now. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, go with that.
That's all I'm saying. That by saying scarce, I'm just saying there was less then and there's more now. And that's is just tell me, is that right or wrong?
All I'm saying is
that right or wrong?
Nike's been
tell
around. Nike's been around since God has been around. I don't care what nobody says. Correct. Let's continue on. People still buy other shoes, and times has changed. Nike's on their ass right now. Times has changed, but they've been around for forever.
Yeah.
It's a testament to the times. And you know what they're sticking with? The same shoe. You want to know why they're sticking with the same shoe? Because they understand they caught a fucking hit, the number one fucking song, and they cannot let it go. Because the moment they do, that's their ass. That's my point. Nike's the biggest point. I should have brought this up earlier. No one. If we take away Jordan, if Nike said we're done with Jordan, you think they're gonna be number one shoe still? What do y'all think? If Nike stopped Jordan right now, are they going to
Like
be
if
the
they
number
stop making Jordan.
done? Like, that's it. We're not re-retroing shit. Will they be this top prominent brand?
You know what? I'm tired of just making ifs. I'm tired of having if statements because everything is just like an
Is that
if
not a
statement.
podcast?
No, it is, but it's like we have so many. It's like we literally have nothing to prove at this point. And again, everything is opinion based, and I get that. But all I'm saying is, I never once did I say you were wrong. You're telling me I'm wrong. I'm saying you have an opinion. I respect that, but you're telling me I'm wrong, and I know I'm not wrong because it's my opinion, and it is right. And what I've said is a fact. Is back then it's an actual fact that back then it was less, and now today is more.
All right,
That's what I'm saying about
check this out,
scarcity.
check that. If we can
That's
prove that.
fine, but it's just like what you're saying along with that is that's not necessarily right. Is what I'm saying.
How though? Because like I said, back then it was less, and there's a reason why. I'm just saying it was though. It was less. Now today is more. The fact that he's playing that shit with a PS5 controller is
So
fine.
check this out, right? This is my example. I think Nike's the best. Basketball's still arguable, right? Let's not use ifs. Let's get off the ifs.
Now you
whatever.
get to go.
Let's get off the ifs, right?
Yeah.
Jordan is their top number one selling shoe, correct? Incorrect.
I don't fucking know. I don't keep up, but probably is.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say series. I'm gonna just say shoe, just series. You know what I mean? Okay.
Probably
Cool.
more than likely
Okay.
is.
Cool. All right. Cool. Okay. The only time another brands give, Nike a run for their money with Adidas, and they still are somewhat, but their prime time was when the superstars came out. Correct.
Yeah.
All right. Cool.
Oh geez.
Now there's plenty of other sneaker brands out there, testament to the times, right? Okay. Who do you think Nike was copying off of in the early times?
Bro, I don't know.
Okay, my point exactly.
Yeah.
There was no one to copy off of.
Yeah.
Now, Nike's this big hedge, this big on top building that it doesn't matter what they do. They're like, you know what? Let's bring back our old shoe. Let's bring back this. Let's bring back that. Let's bring back this. There were plenty of people Nike was copying off back then. They did not have the same resources, to your point, that people have today. So what I'm saying is, now it's easier to find if Nike or fuck Nike, any brand copies off anybody, those same resources we talking about, we can see the influence. And to me, that speaks way louder volume as a brand, as a person, as a producer. Because now we can be like, this nigga sound like Pierre. We couldn't have said that about Scott Storch. Because who are we going to compare him to? That's my whole thing. And then I'm done. That's it.
My whole
Next
thing
topic.
is back then it was less. Today is more.
Next
I
topic.
changed it to that,
Next topic.
and that's a fact.
We even got it next time. We done talked about this for an hour.
We did.
That's the funniest.
I kind of want to
part,
keep talking about it because
like, bruh, like your whole point, yup, and y'all aren't even making like crazy like we're going at each other type of points. It's just what you're saying and how you're sticking to there was less back then, there's more now, and what he's saying is that like there's more
I'm
now,
basically
but the top tier of now is you put them back then and they're killing the top tier back then.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying.
No, that's what he's saying. That's what I'm saying.
No,
He's saying.
that's what he's receiving it. That's look.
That's what I'm saying.
Basically, I'm saying. Listen. This basically was a podcast. Please listen. I'm basically saying back then it was less, and today is more. And all Luke is saying why it was that. That's basically what he's telling me. He's telling me why.
Now let's keep it to the basics.
Yeah.
I'm saying the why. That's not what I'm saying.
You're
There was never less. There was never less. We just seen less because the formula back then was sticking with this one person.
It was less.
No,
It
there
was-
wasn't.
So you
What?
don't agree
So
it was
think,
less?
You just think niggas woke up and wanted to start producing all of a sudden?
No.
Like, hey, let's make a wave of producers. It never stopped. We just stuck to the. There was not less shoes even back then. It was just the fact that Nike was killing it. That's it.
It was definitely less just because on the it was definitely less just because at the time.
Hold on, Benji. We can argue this, but we can do this too.
Fruit Loops allowed
We can look it up.
more of people being able to produce. Is that not right?
We can look it up.
Can we just look up producers of the 2000s and close this out?
What is that gonna do? Like,
Because
I don't get that
I just want
argument.
to see how many there are. Like,
Yeah.
And I feel like what we're gonna find.
There
out
are always
is
gonna be a lot of them. I know that, but let's. No, there's always gonna be a lot of like, you know what I'm saying? But I'm talking about.
I mean, I guess what you're arguing,
any
like
field,
inside of the industry, like actually producers
Yeah.
that people know.
Yeah.
Like maybe there's less producers that people know back
Yeah.
then than producers that people know now.
Yeah. Honestly, bro, hold on, 1 second.
I mean, it's literally the same thing. We're just taking it up. Like everything's just progressing up. Like
Yeah.
the producers that we don't know about now, we just know about them now. And the producers that were really great now, they're just astronomically great now. Really great back then, are just astronomically.
But you don't
great
think
now.
that like now with the way technology,
Boy, this is a headache.
you don't think like now with the way technology is moving, like it has allowed more people to find ways to create in the art of music? Like I believe so.
I hate that you're saying that. 'Cause I feel like it's a testament. It goes against the art because to me,
I believe so.
Yeah, it was an instrument helping.
I believe
people.
Fruit Loops helped a lot. Like it allowed people to.
That's cool.
Like, I
That's
like
cool.
that. Like,
That's fine.
I'm not saying it's- yeah, it's
YouTube
wrong.
helped a lot of people too.
An
But
even greater point.
What I'm saying is,
I'm not saying that's making them less though. I'm not saying that's making them less like a diluted version of whatever Scott Storch was. I'm just saying that back then you didn't have as many avenues to be that like you had this is Scott Storch and the guy down here had nowhere to make or sell his beats. So you wouldn't even know he was a producer. He could have been the greatest producer ever, but we would have never known because we would have never known. How is that not true?
because that's how Kanye started. He sold all his beats off the street and in the hands of people.
Yeah.
Correct? So
yeah.
he had that same
But
guy
how-
down here had the same thing
Yeah,
that
yeah.
Scott Storch started
But
with.
there's probably there was probably 1,000 Kanye Wests out there. I'm not saying they were as great as Kanye West, but there was probably 1,000 people selling their beats, but we don't know their names.
Yes.
I can go right now on YouTube and look up a something type beat, and then I'll just see the dude's YouTube channel right there, and I'll know his name.
I mean, that's not true either. There was definitely still forum websites. There was still different.
Bro.
Just because the internet blew up doesn't mean there was different ways of the internet for them back then.
I get that. No, that is true, but it was less, bro. I don't care. Like it really was a lot less amount of people just because it was more. There's like you're able to do that shit. Like when was podcast created? Like I don't really know, but what would you say podcast was created? Like forever ago, right?
Yeah.
But like now we see it a lot more
Why?
because there's more resources.
That's not why.
There's more ways to do it. Like
That's why you think there's more, or you think it's because people seen the benefit that you can talk about your opinion and become successful? Because back then you couldn't, unless you were already somebody. Thank you.
I feel like it's both.
I feel like it's both. Honestly, I actually agree with you. Like that is true, but I also feel that now people can just like, because if I wanted to start a podcast tomorrow, like let's say I like that shit, because there's people out there that don't know anything about mics. There's no people that know anything about a computer, but like they can go on YouTube like, how do I start a podcast? And there'll be somebody out there that will teach them how to start a podcast.
When I look at podcasts, and I mean maybe with podcasts, both isn't true, but when you think about where podcasts come from, when you think about like radio and stuff like that, that's why I say both.
I mean, of course,
And
that's
as far as like resources for people talking about stuff like what we're doing, like
and put it out on a platform that like anybody
was
can
like-
watch at any point. Like I'm a bad listen. Like
before
listen.
it was more of a barrier with, you know, you have to get into radio.
Yeah.
Before there was like even podcasts.
Yeah.
When podcasting came out and you had all these platforms where you could just, you know, upload a podcast, Podbean, RSS,
Bro,
whatever.
I found a podcast that girls talk about just kittens.
Well, but my thing is, but you know why they're able to do that? And I'm trying. We're about to have an episode. It wasn't Kanye, but I'm gonna use Kanye because people allow people to speak like that.
Yeah.
To my point, all I'm saying is like, you can now Google how to get a fucking podcast mic. That's cool. But those same people, if you take them back then, wouldn't have done this because there wasn't a Joe saying, "Hey, I made such and such $1 million off of saying what I want."
Yeah.
But there was. Y'all can name y'all people, and I'm not sure if you can name too many. There's only a few people I know off the top of my head, Kanye West, Tyler the Creator, and also Joe Budden, to come out and say, hey, Tyler the Creator, I'm about to sit here and rap. You guys can do this too, because I'm about to grab my stool with my cast and just make money off you guys. Nobody was saying that. Because they were scared. I can't have my job be taken from me.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Joe is telling you how many millions he's making.
Yeah, I mean, back then you had to really watch what you say. Now you can go on YouTube.
But that's my
Yeah.
So
I agree with your point.
What
That's
you're
what I'm saying.
Okay.
But I'm also saying that I'm right too. Like you have more resources.
if that's-
He never said that before. We're good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it. I'm agreeing with his point.
Now I'm on a different kind of question.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
like, let's take like Joe back
Yeah,
then,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Let's take him and say like that Joe Budden is on.
Probably would've survived back
Oh, we
then.
talking about Joe Budden.
Okay, but Joe Budden is on radio,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Talking the shit that he's talking, like, yo, I make all this money, whatever. Could, someone like us had just gone out and just made ourselves a radio station back then? You think so?
Yeah.
Nah,
I
don't
why
think
wouldn't we have? I don't think y'all understand how much influence people really have out here, bro. Kanye.
wait. Let
guess my
me
question
not
would
let
be
me
like
not
the
say
how.
no.
You say like big, like successful.
Like a big one or like
there's always been radio
or like a-
stations, bro.
or
So
like
even
a-
small ones.
yeah.
You
No,
keep one of
we
your own
could,
shit, yeah.
but like I'm talking about back then. Like it definitely costs more to make a radio station nowadays.
Yeah, with that.
And
Today,
that's kind of like
Yeah.
where the resources argument
But
comes
yeah,
from.
that's
to
what
me,
I'm
that
saying.
doesn't take away from the fact that it started with Joe influencing these people.
we're not
That's
saying
like,
it took away.
no. That's what I'm saying. What I'm
Yeah,
saying is,
yeah.
if Joe said this, and
Yeah.
let's agree that he would have been just as big, back
Yeah,
then
yeah.
doing it. You don't know how many
That
people
I
went-
don't know. That's all up to
You don't, but
yeah.
we've seen
Yeah.
plenty of hip hop documentaries, hearing Ku Klux Klan, hearing
Yeah.
Biggie, Tupac, all these people say how
Nigga
they
said
did it.
Ku Klux
Was
Klan,
it Ku Klux
Wu-Tang
We're
Clan.
going- yeah,
Wu-Tang
Wu-Tang
Clan.
Clan, my fault.
Nigga
Yeah.
tweaked on that
Yeah,
one.
Wu-Tang Clan. We're hearing. I was thinking about the fucking Hulu thing.
I know.
Yo, so we're hearing our rappers
Yeah.
tell us how to do it.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
feel me? So now that they hear how to do it, we want to go do it. So I'm saying, if you take those same people, these radio casts, podcasts, that
Yeah.
told you how to, yes, there would have been a crazy influx in that position. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
People back then, and not to their fault, I think, because you're on the radio, you can't say certain things, and nobody else talk about their money. We live in different times where it don't matter.
Yeah.
Like, hey, if you go to a concert and someone says, Charles Gambino, whoever, Migos, I done made $2 million off of y'all. Love y'all, fuck y'all. That's fine. Back then, that'd have probably been top one news. Rapper talks about how much he makes off of somebody, basically making fun of them. You feel me? Now they telling us how he did it. We kind of want to do it too. You feel me? That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I feel like they kind of just go to hand in hand to really like argue one for the other, because like if Joe doesn't come out and start talking about the shit that he talks about, like if people don't start really like advocating like, yo, I'm making money off of this podcast thing, you don't really get like, people who come up with companies to allow other people to make podcasts so that they can make money off of people trying to make podcasts.
I mean,
what
we're
I
talking about,
feel like
it's just our generation, but yeah.
yeah, I feel like that's why I'm saying like that's why I said both, because I feel like one may have influenced the other, and then the other in turn influenced everybody else.
I don't know
and
which
then
one
it
is
kinda
bigger.
like-
I just know it's both.
yeah, I don't think it's like a. I think the people is the bigger part, because when you have like those faces attached, it makes it like, oh, people want to go and do that. But then I don't think it's necessarily. I think the people who are big influence and everything, they kind of bring in those companies who want to, get other smaller people to be able to do it. And then that's how we kind of like make our actual way into doing this kind of thing.
I'm watching this nigga play this game. There's no way in hell people telling me this is harder than COD.
It's not.
1,000 times. It's
Shit,
ever slow, and it's still not there. There's just no way. Oh,
This
Yeah,
shit
but
is.
Oh, play me in Warzone.
The
then.
thing is, on COD, 2 shots would have been dead, bro.
That nigga scared of Warzone.
Yeah,
that
them
nigga
niggas-
scared
niggas
as
is
fucking
dummy
Warzone,
scared.
man.
But that's my point. Y'all have longer. Oh, whatever. I'm not
This
starting
shit
an
look like a
argument.
kid game.
Whatever. Back to this. Benji already said he agrees with me. I just can't disagree with his point because it's an opinion. That's all he had to say earlier. I'm done with that. Moving on to the podcast
No, you can
shit.
disagree with it. Just can't call it wrong.
Wrong. My fault.
Yeah.
Wrong term. Wrong. What do I say? With the podcast thing, I'm a firm believer after just watching documentaries, and I think we're all here because of like who influenced us. And I think influences back then were mostly rap music. You feel me? I feel like we're all influenced by, now we're able to be influenced by mad different people because they can say what they want, what they feel, whatever. And we see them sometimes for the best, sometimes for the worst, and we can still choose to align with them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
And I think that's definitely like a very, very important thing as a part of it. And that's kind of what I was saying. I think people saying what they want, saying what they're doing, and all that kind of stuff gave, when you think about like tech companies, the idea to like, hey, you know, they're doing this, other people could also do this, and we can make money off of other people doing this. And that's why I feel like both of those things are aligned as far as like, you know, the resources coming out,
resources
and,
and
influence of people,
resources and influence,
people influencing other people to want to do this, and then someone then providing the resources.
But they can't be no influence without resources. To me,
so they go hand in hand.
They do. I'm agreeing, but what I'm saying is, Kanye didn't have no resource when he wanted to make clothes. He still influenced niggas to make clothes. You're gonna find a way. If you're influenced, you will find a way. That's why I think it trumps it. Bro, there's so many niggas that watch that.
His resources, and it's not literal, because of course, you know, he's saying I mean, he had money to help, and I know that money doesn't help everything.
He ain't got the answers. He had the money. He just couldn't get
exactly.
the people,
That's
bro.
what I'm saying. Like he had levels to get that me and you can't right now. But of course, it took more. It took the influence as well.
But if I'm saying, like, you know, this is just, I think this is really opinion based. I think we all agree on that. But I just feel like, what's the shit? The Complex podcast that was one moment successful with, you know, Joe and everybody on it.
Everyday struggle.
Everyday struggle. I feel like that was revolutionary. It should have lasted. I would have wished it would last. I always wake up trying to watch this shit every day. And I don't give a fuck. You feel me? And, you know, there's Joe and
it's done now.
And there's plenty of other people. For what reason? I think they started that. Their influence. To your point, though, I think this is a bigger discussion. What made Complex want to do a podcast? You know, no one's asking that. What influenced them or what? Because this is a company. We ain't saying this some group of people like, hey, let's make a podcast. No, a company said, make a podcast. Put y'all's opinion out there. Why?
Because we can make money from it.
But why?
We can influence people.
Thank you. That's my point.
Yeah.
Because they understand this generation wants people to listen to. We care for what they have to say. We care about the influence, and that's why.
But we also have the greatest resources of all right now.
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
the internet.
It goes hand in hand because it's like, yeah, you can say like the internet and all these sources, which I agree with. But to me, as a company, if I'm giving Mars and y'all mad bread to start a podcast, why am I doing that? Like you said, of course, because I can make the money back. But because I know that this generation that you guys are speaking to are fiending to hear this shit.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. The influence. So.
Yeah.
For example, like one thing. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I was about to say like that part of it is like very heavy on the influence aspect as far as like actual like listeners, consumers.
Yeah.
You know what I think? When I think about like the reason why I guess like the resources become more important is for people who actually like want to do it.
Yeah,
that's a different.
I'm also
like,
referring to the production of things being created, like of things being started in the first place. For example, like I was watching a whole bunch of old movies, not even old movies, but just like, you know, relatively like, and there's good ones, but there's like a lot of them that are bad. Even music videos that like it should just look bad. They're just bad. The color looks bad, and it's like nowadays the resources of like directors have dramatically increased
and that's
because we have like
it just look good and
you know
niggas getting away with
like,
everything.
I'm pretty
nowadays.
sure there was a point in time where people couldn't just shoot on a Super 8 and just get it developed and then put it on Final Cut Pro because there was no Final Cut Pro back then. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
To your point.
Yeah.
But you think, and what I gotta say here,
Don't you think if the influence was there, they would have made Final Cut Pro earlier? Bro, Photoshop was someone saying, I'm going to give these kids tools.
Everything's
for
a
life.
timing thing, though.
But I think it's the time and what's this shit called? Your market, your demand. Who do you think you're speaking to? You feel me? I don't think, to your point, which Benji is his opinion, I guess, it's like the Fruit Looms and the Photoshops, the Final Cut Pros, they don't feel like what?
Fruit of the Loom.
I didn't say Fruit of the Looms. Whatever.
We gonna play that back. You said Fruit of the Loom.
My bad. So check. All these instruments, all these tools, everything you want to call it.
You gotta zoom in my face or something. Cause I was like,
all these tools.
That was funny.
All these tools, I don't feel like were made earlier because they didn't think had anybody to speak to. But that doesn't mean they weren't there. That's all I'm saying.
yeah.
It's just because to your market, your influence, whatever. Now everybody's an influencer. Of course, anybody can make a podcast because you're gonna have people there.
I mean, it takes time and years and a lot of experience and knowledge and research to like things to like progress.
Yeah.
And like you said, everything is progression. And it took
go.
years for people to like
You
learn.
finally understand.
Yeah, it took years
Everything
for
is
people to
progression.
learn and understand like, oh damn, bro.
Finally got there, guys.
I can make money off of like if I can make a program that will help people edit.
bro. But we do this. This can be tied into this.
Yeah.
Like you can't take Joe Budden and put him in forever ago. It's not gonna work. The same Joe Budden. It's not gonna work. You can't say all that shit. But we have different times.
Yeah.
Now, can you take the
I'm
best
tired.
podcast?
Again, we stop with the ifs. I mean, no, don't stop with the ifs, but I can't partake in the ifs.
Go ahead,
Oh
bro.
yeah, yeah.
So
I can't partake in the
so
ifs
fuck it if.
conversation.
I'm gonna use
Yeah.
a dead ass fact.
Yeah,
StockX
yeah.
has been trying to be StockX for years.
Yeah.
Okay, he was trying that shit for years. No one took it serious.
Mm-hmm.
But the moment it said, "God damn, all these kids making money off of shoes," let me give this nigga a shot. Feel me? They seen the influence. They understood like, oh shit, there actually is a market for this.
Yeah.
This guy's been trying to tell me whatever. They just couldn't see it. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Even the resources are not. Niggas can make it on StockX. They don't have the influence, no money as a StockX. You know what I mean? To be
Yeah.
able to get people to co-sign them
Yeah.
and this, that, and the third. Whatever. All I'm saying is, to me, you can use the word influence. You can use market or target audience, whatever. There has to be someone there already
Yeah.
for them to do it. And I don't feel like all the people we named before that had, this program or that program, they didn't make that program because they didn't think the audience was there. That's it. Or maybe the technology lacked. Maybe even that.
Both sometimes.
Man, this is. I feel like we done went around the world with this argument, like literally. All right, so at the end of this episode, you know what I mean? Like, go in the comments and say who was right. Just like if you
We're both right.
Let's get a B
Yeah,
for
I
Benji.
didn't say he was wrong.
Let's get an L for Luke,
I guess one thing I didn't.
and
not
let's
say he
get
was wrong.
a M Mars for both, because I feel like I was on the both sides.
Yeah, man. I think that was probably like the best discussion I feel like I've had on here because it can be endless, but it also has a point to it, like from both sides. You know what I mean? I feel like when we have our discussions on here, I feel like there's always one side that's stronger than the other, some way, somehow. But I feel like that, like you just said, like it's just an opinion, and we won't really know. So
Yeah, the only thing you could look at is like time and how things happen. That's why I feel like, at least for the producer part, I feel like he got you on that one, because progression is just progression. Like that's
But
it.
I just I'm not even trying.
I know.
I know. It was less back then.
Less is more. Less is more. Less is more.
less back then.
Less is
That's it.
more. Yes, sir. Less is more.
Oh no,
Yes,
no, less
sir.
is more. It was just
No.
less back then.
Less is more. Less is more. Dead ass. Less is
Well,
more.
it is. You're right.
Anyways, that's it for this episode. Too Many Ideas Podcast, episode 14. Thank you guys. Like, follow, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And we are out of here.